right, this week, the Michigan State Senate passed some legislation that completely upends ballot recount procedures in the state's elections. And what many are saying literally is opening the door to enable election fraud. Wow, that ought to make the hair on all of our necks stand up. Under this new legislation, power to investigate potential fraud is stripped from the Board of State Canvassers, and it shifts, rather, to catch this, a hyper-partisan group of county prosecutors. Additionally, the bill strips the board of subpoena power, and it only allows them to refer fraud over to general and to prosecutors in the Democrat-controlled cities where the fraud is most likely to occur in the first place. Well, here now to sound the alarm is Michigan State Senator Jim Runestad. He represents Michigan's 23rd Senate District. Senator, welcome to Washington Watch. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you, Jody. It's a story that I'm so pleased you're covering, because nationally the outlets are covering it, but in the state of Michigan, there's only one radio station that will even permit any of the details. Every one of the TV outlets, complete censorship. All of the print media, complete censorship. There's not a single article that has been done on this story in the state of Michigan. And this has been an ongoing process for about a month, while the Democrats have been working this through the committees and then back and forth through the chambers to finally get it passed. And it was this week that they finally passed it, that it's going to go to the governor for her signature. And it's this gigantic rewriting of the election laws for the state of Michigan with virtually no coverage from the corporate-controlled media. It's absolutely disgusting. So the provisions are that under the current Board of Canvassers rules that have been in place for 70 plus years, if somebody brings an allegation of fraud or they discover an allegation of fraud, they are able to investigate that. They can dismiss it. They can go forward and subpoena people to try to get to the bottom of it. This has all been part of their ability. And in fact, in the 2020 election, the Board of Canvassers tried to find out what was happening in the city of Detroit. The city of Detroit went from 2016, where 72% of all the precincts could not be recounted. So the state gave them more time and money to fix the problem. And then in 2020, the fix was they went from 72 to 79% of all of the precincts could not be recounted, mainly because of an overcount of vote, broken open ballot seals, and corruption all over the place, that anyone would say, we got to find out what's going on. So the Board of Canvassers said, we're going to find out. We're holding up the certification till we get some answers. What then happened is a tsunami of death threats from all over the country, from within the state, to the Republican canvassers, is saying, you had better certify this election or you're done. We're going to kill you. And they doxed them. The woman Republican, her daughter's school and home address were doxed. A woman sent graphic photos of a tortured, bloody, murdered child. I've seen the photos. Sent to the mother and said, this is what happened to your daughter if you don't certify the election. Now, you would think with the Democrats screaming bloody murder that we're going to lose our democracy and we got to protect the vote, that they would come after this very seriously, the attorney general and the prosecutors. What happened is this woman who did this made this real graphic threat, knowing the address of the little girl and the school. They waited 4.5 years to finish the investigation, and they gave this horrific woman a 5-day suspended sentence. So you can see there's this lawfare in Michigan. This is the way they roll. And so now the one area that we had independent, bipartisan people in every county who can look at this, stripped out of the bill, stripped out their ability to do any kind of subpoena power. So, and there's much more in there. They were before able to look at if there was allegations that people were voting who were not eligible. That was taken out. There was many other provisions, but the ones that were very clear is basically removing all the power of these individuals to investigate election fraud. It's absolutely horrible.
Let me ask you this. Our time is rapidly getting away. How is this ultimately going to impact the upcoming elections in November?
That's a great question, because everybody was saying, don't worry, don't worry. As long as the Democrats don't go sine die, which means end the term early, don't worry, then it won't take effect for this election. All this week, the newspapers have been filled with the Democrats saying that they may go sine die because they said the Republicans aren't going to give them the immediate effect vote on the budget. And they said, we got to get the budget through, so we may be having to go sine die. So ending the term, which means that all these election laws will be applicable this year. And all I kept hearing is they'll never do that. No, they've already done it for the first time and the second time in Michigan history. The Democrats just did it, and now they're threatening to do it again. And if they do for the second time, then all of these provisions will be applicable this year. And the media will not print a word. I'm so pleased that you're getting the word out there, because in Michigan, it is a completely controlled corporate environment where the media will not tell the voters what's happening.
Unbelievable. Well, Senator Jim Runestad, I want to thank you so much for you standing up against this and swimming upstream, it seems, right now. We're honored to come alongside of you and help get this word out. Please help us keep a pulse on this. We look forward to staying in touch. Michigan Senator Jim Runestad, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jody.